It's the Weather Xtreme video for Monday evening, December 2nd. I'm James Spann, setting up for a very complex and challenging forecast late this weekend over the weekend. So let's dive in and take a look out the window with some Skycam shots. Today it's been cloudy, some light rain at times. That is the view coming from Chehaw State Park. Little rain falling there at mid-afternoon. That's a Gadsden Skycam. The clouds are very low, little rain falling, and Coleman, looking gray, overcast with some light rain there as well. Here's a big picture. The strong disturbance you can see over the northwestern United States will have to pull down some brutally cold air in coming days over the western half of the nation. And for now, the flow here aloft is out of the northwest. It's cloudy and wet over the northern half of the state. That's the visible satellite view. And actually, while, we've been cloudy and socked in up here all day, down in South Alabama, the sky's been mostly sunny. And they're in the 70s down there. The cloud line basically along US 80. North of that, it's cloudy. South of that, mostly sunny. And you can see the difference in the numbers there between Montgomery at 71 and Fort Payne at 52. Birmingham sitting at 55. But we are going to warm up nicely in the short term, but don't get used to it. Temperatures around the nation, let's say seasonal today, but again, we're getting set for an invasion of really cold air coming down the pike. This is the European ensemble suggesting what temperatures will be like Thursday evening. And that's got some, these numbers are in degrees Fahrenheit or degrees Celsius. If you look at the Fahrenheit values, that's about 60 degrees below average for parts of Montana and the Dakotas. That is brutal, brutal cold. I fully expect to see a few spots in there reaching minus 30 Fahrenheit. That's not a wind chill. That's the actual low either Thursday morning or Friday morning. And that's just going to seep in here in a shallow way Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And, man, that makes for a hard forecast. That's a radar at 2:31, a little light rain in pockets, and it's going to be showery. I mean, it's just going to be kind of wet at times for a while. Keep the rain gear handy. Winter storm watches and warnings up for much of the western United States. They're going to be slammed up in Montana and North Dakota. It's going to be tough up there with incredibly cold temperatures, low wind chills, and snow. Now, day 3, this is Wednesday, a risk of thunderstorms from East Texas up through the Mid-South. I don't think we'll see any severe weather there, but there certainly could be some thunder in advance of that Arctic front. And heavy rain developing. What's going to happen? That front's going to slow down and just kind of stall out, and we'll have overrunning rains going, and that's going to set up rain amounts of 2 to 3, maybe 4 inches in spots over parts of North Mississippi, Middle Tennessee. Down this way, rain amounts of 1 to 2 inches likely, and the period here is valid between this evening and Saturday evening at 6 o'clock local time. And unfortunately, some of that back in the western flank of all that's going to fall in the form of freezing rain, and that could be really messy. In fact, this is the chance of freezing rain, ice accumulation greater than 1/100 of an inch between Wednesday morning and Thursday morning. Notice the numbers are starting to come up through parts of Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri. And really just beyond this period, Thursday into Fridays, when they're going to have some real issues out there, I think. All right, do we dare look at modeling? Sure. Let's take a look. This is the GFS, the 12Z run, valid at 12 noon tomorrow at 500 millibars. You see that disturbance back in the northwestern states helping to pull down the colder air. That's a 1044 high that is over British Columbia, nosing down into Montana and the Dakotas. And around here, we've got a southerly flow. We start to warm up. We'll expect mid-60s, maybe upper 60s in spots. And there could be a touch of light rain tomorrow, maybe a sprinkle or a shower somewhere, but I think much of the day will be dry. Now, the sky should be mostly cloudy, but not a lot of rain. There could be a little bit, but probably not a lot. And again, I'd say highs somewhere between 65 and 68. This is Wednesday. And the storm to watch is that one developing over southwest Colorado around the Four Corners, 998 millibar low. That's going to be a whopper of a snowstorm for parts of the mountains of Utah and Wyoming and Colorado. Over the eastern half of the nation, we've got a 997 millibar low sitting over the tip of Michigan with a trailing front. And down below that, again, kind of like tomorrow on Wednesday, I'm not so sure it rains a lot. There could be a few scattered showers. but nothing widespread, nothing heavy. And the warm-up continues with highs up in the low 70s. I'd say 70 to 73 sounds about right. And again, mostly cloudy, maybe a few peaks of sun. All right, let's go to Thursday. And this is at noon, and we've got just a good rain going on here. And Thursday should be very mild with temperatures, again, up in the low to mid-70s. Showers are likely here. And we've got our cold air moving south across the plain states. You can see how we should begin to see some icing problems developing over Oklahoma, Missouri, and maybe the northwest corner of Arkansas Thursday. Let's go to Friday. This is midday Friday. Alabama looks very wet, very good chance of rain as the cold air begins to creep in here. And you can see icing showing up on Friday over much of Arkansas, down into Texas. Some of the cities that could see freezing rain and ice on Friday: Dallas-Fort Worth, Tulsa, Little Rock, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, maybe Jackson, Tennessee, Paducah, Kentucky. If you're traveling to those areas on Friday, be aware it could be messy around here, cold and wet, and man, temperatures are going to be a nightmare to forecast. Come on now. This is midday Friday, and you can see the model suggesting 40s in northwest Alabama with 70s just on the other side of that boundary. And where will that boundary be? It's probably going to be farther south and east than it shows up here. The models will not have the resolution to handle shallow cold air. I think Friday, areas around Florence and Muscle Shoals, Russellville, they'll be in the 30s all day up there. I think for cities like Birmingham, we'll probably have falling temperatures. We'll probably fall into the 40s. But yes, 70s south and east of Birmingham, Alexander City, Auburn, Montgomery. It's going to be like a spring day. So you're going to go from 30s up in northwest Alabama to 70s in South Alabama. And a lot of rain on Friday. We're optimistic, but not 100% sure that we'll be above freezing up in the northwestern corner of the state. But our friends up around the Shoals and Florence, you got to watch Friday carefully. That's going to be a close call. There could be some nasty icing around Memphis on Friday, Little Rock, Dallas, Fort Worth. All right, let's look at Saturday. A lot of questions about the weekend. And here's the deal. We've still got that southwest flow aloft. And that's just problematic. There's a trough in the western states, cold air at the surface, a disturbed southwest flow aloft, and overrunning. And that always opens up a can of worms. This is suggesting Saturday will be cloudy. We'll still mention a chance of rain. We will be in the colder air, and again, the models will not understand it. The GFS Moss is showing 54. I don't think we get out of the 40s on Saturday, but we should be warm enough where we don't have any icing problems here. This is a look at Saturday temperatures at noon, and the cold air deepens across Alabama. And again, look at the numbers over Arkansas, like low to mid 20s at midday on Saturday. This is brutally cold. 17 out around Lubbock, Texas, and temperatures way below 10 below zero at midday. I don't know how many days they're going to stay below freezing up north. It's going to be a long, long deep freeze for them. Now, this is Sunday. This is another period to watch. We've got another wave coming in with rain on Sunday. And this is suggesting any icing would be well north of here, around the Ohio River, Cincinnati. Also got a wedge coming down, so they're suggesting maybe some icing through parts of Virginia, maybe North Carolina. And, I think this graphic tells the story. This is the nightmare we're facing here. Now, this is off the European valid Sunday evening at 6 o'clock local time. You got the wedge over North Georgia. They're in the 30s around Atlanta. You've got the Arctic air to the west over Memphis. They're in the 30s, and it's got this tongue of mild air in between the wedge and the Arctic front. It's got us up in the 60s on Sunday. So do you buy that? Well, it's possible. This could very well happen, but I'm just telling you, there's no skill in dealing with this, this far in advance. There's none. I mean, none. So trying to forecast temperatures is just going to be a nightmare. It's going to depend on where you are this weekend and how this whole thing evolves. And then we'll go to Monday. The flow is fairly zonal, and down below that, everything is out of here, and we actually go dry perhaps on Monday. Cool with maybe highs in the upper 40s and low 50s. But if this is right, Alabama will miss the icing. But I'm not promising we're going to be saying that at the end of the week, because trying to pick up ice events like this are very, very hard to do far in advance. All right, let's go out there a little deeper. This is the 13th of December. Look at that, another cold air mass coming down the pike at mid-month. That's a 1050 high over Idaho with an Arctic front coming in here. And then 5 days later on the 18th, the flow is zonal, and down below that, that would be cool and dry. So it just seems like the worst of these bitterly cold Arctic shots might be a tad north and west of here, but we'll be watching for sure. This is a challenging forecast. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video this afternoon. We'll have notes in the blog. Next video here by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. If you can't catch us this evening on ABC 3340 News, the live stream of the television side at 4, 5, 6, and 10. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful evening, and God bless.